Hello and welcome to today's DAV Chat. I'm Davina. I'm discussing politics, fascism, attacks on women's reproductive care, and lies. So today's liar that we're focusing on is Jason Miller, a current Trump campaign advisor and a former campaign advisor in 2016 and 2020. In 2016, Jason Miller famously impregnated another of Trump's campaign advisors, AJ Delgado, who was appointed as the Spanish outreach campaign lead. She kept her baby and she's raised him by herself, and Jason Miller has not paid child support and is locked in a lengthy court battle over his failure to pay child support payments to his former colleague. He was married at the time of that pregnancy as well. And also something that came out about Jason Miller was that he gave a smoothie to a romantic partner of his, a smoothie containing abortifacient chemicals that he'd secretively added to the smoothie in order to induce a miscarriage or an abortion in his sexual partner who was otherwise intending to keep the baby and keep the pregnancy. And I just mention this because it's very important in context of some people thinking that they'll vote for Trump or for a third party instead of President Biden, because the Republican Party is really keen to capitalize on the forward impetus of false morality and fake posturing with regards to innocent unborn children. Now, some unborn children wanted pregnancies that people are committed to keeping. Some wanted pregnancies still miscarry. The rate of miscarriage is believed to be about a third of all pregnancies in any case. For spontaneous miscarriages, what's called a missed or an incomplete miscarriage can result in severe health complications for women if they don't receive adequate medical treatment. And of course, medical care isn't perfect, so you can still experience health complications, but criminalizing medical care for women and making it a legal gray area as to whether or not a woman can receive care while she is in the process of undergoing a spontaneous miscarriage makes it really dangerous for women. And as Molly Jong-Fast, a columnist and pundit, pointed out yesterday, it's becoming a desert for first trimester maternal care for women in Republican-led states such as Texas, Mississippi, Alabama, etc., because doctors are now fearful for their licenses and even their personal freedoms if they engage medically with patients in the first trimester of pregnancy, because that's when spontaneous miscarriages are more common. And if somebody snitches and says that miscarriage could have been the doctor's fault, maybe that woman really wanted that miscarriage, let's just make assumptions about what was in her mind and the doctor's mind, and the doctor then is criminalized or is arrested or charged, and his patient is arrested or charged, that's obviously something that is undesirable for a medical professional. So doctors in Republican-led states are actively avoiding getting involved with patients who are pregnant women in their first trimester of pregnancy, making maternal care deserts a thing in what are frequently termed red states, but I sometimes qualify that with saying they could be just purple states that have been sordidly gerrymandered to a highly undemocratic degree by Republicans at a state legislature level who have been elected in part because perhaps the Democratic Party may have dropped the ball in Republican-led states and thought, oh, is it even worth expending resources to contest certain races? Letting Republicans get veto-proof supermajorities that they've then used to draw up their own districts, manage democracy in a way that makes it effectively undemocratic and makes a lot of those Republican representatives unaccountable, because districts have been so drawn in a way to dilute the voting power of those voters who actually do still persist in voting for Democratic candidates, because they understand that the Republican Party is often just a front for for wealthy lobbyists, for the kind of people who lean into the culture war so that they can obtain political purchase with regards to their true agenda of facilitating tax breaks, tax cuts and subsidies for the uber wealthy, the section of wealthy people that are thoroughly immoral and antisocial and believe that any welfare to those who are less wealthy is a waste of resources, time, effort, and money, as opposed to having a belief in how societies function, which is help offered to those who need it in their moments of need, actually tends to strengthen and support societies, including just general harmony and well-being, and is a moral way to behave. Just trying to say only I should be getting government help, I, the wealthy person, should have tax breaks because my activities are worthy and productive, and poor people are somehow less worthy and unblessed by God, because you can tell if someone's good or not because if they're good, they're wealthy. You can see that through wealth as a manifestation of God's blessing. So all of that nonsense packaged up into a Republican front to say, vote for us. We are in favor of helping people, helping the little babies. They're not. They're endangering the little babies as well as endangering the lives of women who are pregnant, who could become pregnant, and girls who are in a similar position of being able to become pregnant via consensual means or statutory rape, incest, familial abuse, just date rape, etc. So lots of ways in which people can become pregnant and it not be personally desirable for them to continue with the pregnancy, or just should be part of their bodily autonomy, that they can choose whether or not they want to continue with a pregnancy. And of course, outside of the realm of personal choice, again, is that medically dangerous scenario of the women who have kidney failure, liver failure, strokes, sepsis, even leading to heart attacks and death as a consequence of receiving inadequate medical care from doctors who are concerned about the murky legal nature of rendering assistance to a woman in need because of anti-abortion laws passed by Republican leaders in positions of power, whether it be at a state level or in a future sense at a federal level if Trump is reelected to office. And that's all from me today. Oh, I will play Jason Miller very briefly. It's 14 seconds.
But he wouldn't support monitoring pregnancies even if a state decided to do that.
Well, he's made it very clear that he's not going to go and weigh in and try to push various states and how they want to go and set up their particular rules and restrictions. That's up to the states.
But he wouldn't support monitoring pregnancies even if a state decided to do that.
Well, he's made it very clear that he's not going to go and weigh in and try to push various states and how they want to go and set up their particular rules and restrictions. That's going to be up to the states.
Okay, so Trump's happy for various states to begin monitoring women's pregnancies in order to be able to determine if they're pregnant or not and then force them to continue with that pregnancy. States' rights, y'all. So that's a really important thing to note. That's Jason Miller there, that rotund man on the right, being interviewed by Newsmax. He is someone who has been credibly accused of administering an abortion smoothie to a sexual partner whose pregnancy he didn't want because he was married. So he forcibly imposed an abortion on his sexual partner, who was admitted to hospital with poisoning because the abortifacients he put in the smoothie were so strong that she incurred risk to her own life, as well as losing a baby that she was pregnant with. Now, I'm happy to call unborn babies as well as fetuses. I think it depends on the context. Certainly, the sort of cloudy clump of cells that you can see for pregnancies that are under 10 weeks highlights the immorality of putting women's lives in jeopardy as a consequence of some kind of protectiveness that is a function of false piety, falsely moral posturing, that I think if you dig into it, those people are willing to jettison the lives of sentient women, sentient human girls, and also cause harm to their family because those women are loved and wanted. And yes, it is easier to get over the the loss of a pregnancy that you chose to not pursue anyway. Even the loss of a wanted pregnancy can be a calamitous event for women, but it's still not as destructive to a family and to a community as the loss of a known person who's taken breath and existed in the world and has formed relationships with people. So definitely there should be greater legal standing given to women over potential future lives and future children. And the greatest way to protect women and their families and their children is to have strong laws in place that protect reproductive care, which includes abortion. And abortion includes medical treatment for missed miscarriages, incomplete miscarriages, etc. I want everybody to keep that in mind and to keep having those conversations with family and friends, many of whom won't even believe you that abortion is a medical treatment for a missed miscarriage because it's not widely discussed. So I'm trying to help with that problem. Let's discuss these things and hopefully talk to you soon. Thanks for listening to the broadcast today. Bye. I was Davina.